So we're going to go ahead and select everything. Go into adjustments. And if you really cannot, if none of these things make sense, there is an auto button that you can always try. So you can see that the auto button upped the brightness of everything for me right away, played with the exposure. So you want to talk about how to do it manually?
Yep.
All right, so let's revert back to the original. And now I'm going to let Tim go ahead and handle some of our adjustments.
All right. Now, as you can notice, if you ever used Photoshop, these are a lot of similar type tools for photo editing. You have almost the exact same options in video editing. So as we saw with the auto adjustment, it is a little bit dark, so we can adjust that in several ways. We can actually play with the levels a bit, and here we have I believe it's a black point and a white point. There's no gray point. But we also have exposure, and we have brightness. So let's just go and up the exposure for all of it because it all is a little dark. So there we go. Now it's just a little bit brighter, and that brought up the levels on everything. But we could also just adjust the overall brightness if we really wanted to make it even brighter. But I think that, yep, we have a little bit of corruption there. So we're just going to use just the exposure. We also have contrast. So if we wanted our blacks a little bit blacker and our whites a little bit whiter, we could do that. I think we're fine where we're at. I think the camera did a good job of that already. And you can also, if you need to do some color correction, meaning if your skin tones look a little yellow or blue or something just looks wrong with your colors, and it's probably because your camera was auto color correcting for you, you also have the option to change the hues on the video as well.
Now for me, the last thing that we are going to do is that I actually want my video to be black and white because that matches the aesthetic of my Megan Auman jewelry site, and that's where this is going. So what I'm actually going to do is come here into saturation, and I am just going to take out all the saturation and turn this into a black and white video, which is obviously an optional step for you guys. And then once we're happy with those, we're going to go ahead and hit done. When you have the video, it doesn't show up here, but it shows up as it's playing the video. When it comes to doing any of these adjustments, the most important thing to remember is that, you know, just play around because you've always got this revert to original button. You can always undo something. And of course, you've always got your original video clip saved at the bottom. So the best thing that you can do when you're doing these adjustments is just get in there, use your eyes, be smart about it, play around with stuff, see what works, what doesn't, and go from there. Because that's how you're going to get better at it, is just by kind of experimenting. And then obviously the more you experiment, the more you can, not just kind of adjust the levels to color correct, but adjust the levels to get the kind of feel that you want in your videos, which is obviously what I did in shifting everything to black and white.
And I think the important thing to remember when working in video is that everything you do is non-destructive. These are all, essentially this is a copy of your video file. So everything you do inside iMovie is not touching your video file at all, but in fact just making changes on top of it on a copy file.
Yeah, so don't be scared to get in there and just play around because, shooting great video is only half of the battle. It's really about the editing process and getting in there, and that's what's going to make your videos look clean and professional. And the best way you're going to figure it out is just to get in there and play.